Hey guys, and welcome back to Unified Gaming. Now today we're going to do something slightly different as Scalebreaker is just around the corner for console users. Now I want to show you that actually min-maxing PvP builds is not as important as people think or claim, so stay tuned. And before we do that, I want to make it really clear that obviously I'm not saying don't have a proper PvP build. Well, I'm not saying that, okay? But what I am saying is that actually it's not as important as people sort of think, okay? So just relax, don't get stressed, and above all, have fun playing what you want to play. If you don't have the same gear as somebody else, who cares? If you're good, you'll make it work. And that's kind of what this video is showing, okay? Obviously kind of talking about builds briefly as well. Obviously my builds will be coming out next week. Obviously Magicka Necromancer, so Soul Bones, Frozen Colossus. The Warden is going to have a slight tweak as well. Obviously I'm going to make sure they're kind of same sort of mindset, so easy to use, effective. Sort of good defense and damage and sustain, kind of just a jack of all trades build really. And I also want to explain a bit more about the skills, as that's more important for this patch. So that's kind of where my builds are. Obviously feel free to obviously use them if you like. You don't have to though, but sub if you do want to sort of see them come out next week. Now kind of with that out of the way, I want to talk about kind of this patch generally and kind of just PvP as a whole, before I sort of talk about why actually having sort of the best gear isn't as important as it used to be. So PvP obviously changes every patch in ESO, you know that. You've probably seen it if you've been a long time player. You'll understand that obviously this isn't always a good thing or isn't always a bad thing, but that's absolutely fine. And that every single patch has its own level or own version of cheese. And some people think certain things are more cheesier than others. I don't like Zarn. I hate Zarn. I think it's a cheesy set. I don't like the dot meta of it in. I think it's a skillless meta. But that said, it's the patch that we're in, and you kind of have to make the most of it. You can choose to run it, and it's your choice. You can choose to not run it, that's your choice. The reality is, if you want to be the most effective, probably use it. A lot of people realise this patch that actually, if they just changed their skills, not their armour, they did really, really well. And that's the thing, guys. If you have the right skills, you will do well regardless of what you wear. You can wear absolute gibberish, as I do in all of these clips here, and you can do well. Now it goes against kind of everything you've been told or you've seen on ESO, and I get that. And for me, I was like, it's a really weird video to make, but I thought it's kind of something that needs to be said, because actually people skirt around it. Having a good build is very, very good. It helps. I'm not saying don't have a good build, but what I am saying is, even if you've got the best build, if you are bad at the game, you are bad at the game. Now I know that comes a bit sort of, it's a bit harsh, a bit abrupt, but you need to practice. That is how you get better at the game. It's really simple, guys. Practice, you will improve. You will see in this video that I have my sorcerer, and my sorcerer gets 16 to 6, I think it is, with 11 assists or something like that. Now, if I put that on YouTube and was like, guys, murdering people with my sorcerer, have a look at this. People will be like, yeah, that looks really strong. What on earth are you running, mate? Build video, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? If I show people what I run, which obviously I do in this video, people will laugh and be like, seriously, mate? But actually, I'm going around and killing people with it. Because I understand what the skills do. I know what my combos are, I know what the skills are. I took off Haunting Curse because I didn't have the skill point for it, to be honest. But I took it off, and then I knew that because I didn't have any burst, I needed to have a spammable, so I put on Crush and Shock. And I then I was chucking in heavy attacks to obviously land more burst. So it's compromising and making adaptations. And that's the difference between a good player and a bad player. A good player can do it with any single build. I've played Sorcerer, and Sorcerer was my main class before Warden came out. And Sorcerer got nerfed again and again and again and again, and I still play it. I play Warden mainly though, and with that you adapt each time. You adapt, and people who adapt. If you look at Malcolm, I think it is on YouTube, he's a phenomenal sorcerer. So is Pelican ESO, he's a really good sorcerer as well. And if you kind of look at those guys, they are really good at what they do in every single patch because they adapt. This patch is just the same, if not more important. You have to adapt, and you cannot rely on cheesy sets or just builds that are really strong. This patch, it doesn't work anymore. I got hit with about 7 or 8 dots in 2 or 3 seconds, and I died. I had like 18k health, and my health just went down to 0 in a couple of seconds because the dot damage is really high. Really, really high. It means that if you're running things like Fury or 7th Legion, those really strong stamina sets, or you're running sort of strong magic sets like Necropotence or Bright Throat's Boast, so on, that actually, when you try and line of sight, you move around corners, your shields just get taken off, your health bar just drops because the dot damage is too high. Instead, you now need to use the skills at the right point, and that's what Zos is trying to do from what I can see, having played this for 2 weeks now. That is more based on the skill selection and the skill usage rather than your armor and your gear selection. The armor and the gear should complement the skills. If you have the right armor and gear, you should be able to then get more use out of the skills, either through being able to spam them more or to have more powerful skills. If you are building for high damage, you have obviously low sort of armor, you then obviously need to build more skills for healing to obviously offset that. And in the past, you could build for really high armor and really high damage with low regen, but now you don't have the regen to out-heal the damage that's coming in anymore. So it just means that there are obviously slight changes, and that's kind of what this is all about, that actually whatever you run in PvP is your choice. Don't stress about running the same as somebody else. That's not what this is about. Instead, focus on becoming a better player. Duel your friends. Go into Cyrodiil by yourself. Attack a Zerg. Get a Zerg to chase you. Run away from them. It sounds daft, but it will make you learn to move around obstacles and maneuver stuff a lot better. If you've got 6 or 7 people trying to kill you, you either learn to move around the rock properly or you die. That is literally it. You then take that into Battlegrounds and you move around the pillars in the Arcane University. You can move around some of the tunnels in the Outpost one, I think it's called. But my point is that you learn to line of sight, you learn to do that, you get better. You take that skill into somewhere else, you get better. That's what this patch is about. It's about being a good player and about actually practicing, and not so much about what you wear. Good armor will help you. It will make the build better. But what makes a build great is being a good player. And that's kind of where I want to sort of draw this video to an end. Is that being a good player sounds easier said than done, doesn't it? I get that. I used to watch ESO videos back in the day when I first started about 3 years ago. I would think, what on earth? How was he killing 8 people by himself? This is stupid. And then I practice, and I practice more, and I got better. The one thing I did notice though is that obviously when you do YouTube, and obviously people who do YouTube themselves, they will know this, that actually you die an awful lot. You make a lot of mistakes sometimes. I make mistakes, even still. And that's okay. And if you're somebody obviously starting YouTube or you just start an ESO and you make mistakes in PvP and you're getting frustrated, that's normal. Don't stress it. Instead, go out and practice, learn from it. Go, okay, I died from that, I pushed too far forward, okay? Don't push as far forward. The more you do that, the better you'll get. You'll then start to make better decisions. And over time, you'll become a better, more confident player to the point where you're making your own builds because you understand the game really well. You understand your class. You know what your class can do inside and out. You then learn about your class. You know about the other class and go, okay, that's a Nightblade. He's gone on stealth. If he comes out and he ganks me or hits me with surprise attack, I'm going to be stunned and I'm going to die. I hold block. He can't kill me now. Happy days. Things like that, which nobody really talks about. But the more you know the game, the more you know your class, the better you will do on any build. Any armor you can have, you will do well on. If you have a strong build and you know what the game is like, you will do phenomenal. And that's what the 1vx videos are. These are the people who are really experienced at the game, good understanding of what they're doing, and as such will just go out and murder loads of people because they've got strong builds, good understanding. People with strong builds but bad understanding die. And that's what Scalebreaker is going to expose. So if you're on console, you're going to see a lot more people have issues with that, and a lot of people will complain about kind of this dot meta, but if you're a good player, you'll adapt. You put on more healing skills, you line the sight better. Now, I'm going to kind of call the video there, guys. So, kind of, if you do like this kind of video, then obviously like and subscribe, all that good stuff, helps me out, lets me know you want to see more ESO content. And if you would really want to kind of get better at PvP and go, oh, Dan, you seem to know what you're doing somewhat. Do you mind putting out a video or just putting out some guidance so we can sort of get better? And I'm happy to do that. So if people do want to see more sort of content about sort of PvP and kind of how to move it in PvP, how to combo, how to set up skills, how to set up good armor selections, how to optimize your CP, I can show you all that stuff and kind of how I make my builds, how I perform on them, and try and make you a better player. I'm happy to create a tutorial series. So if there's enough demand for that, then obviously I'll do that. So obviously like, comment, all that stuff. That'll let me know that you want to see that. And with that said, I'm going to call the video there. So I'm going to jump off now, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. So take care and thanks for watching. Bye.